What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we are on the test server here, and we will be talking about stage 30 of the event dungeon, and I'll be showing you guys my most optimized, most consistent team that I will be using. But first, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Bronco here. He's on his push for 20,000 subs. Make sure you guys check out his channel. He was the first person I saw use the elixir strategy, which was really instrumental in producing a lot of these teams, and he put together a lot of teams for this stage 30 dungeon. So if you guys are struggling there trying to farm stage 30, make sure you guys hop on by, check out some of his videos. He might have a team comp for you. Shout out to him. All right, but let's check out what team we got here in store for you guys today. So quickly going over to the event dungeon, we are on stage 30 here, and this is the team that we're going to be showcasing in this video. Now, it's honestly just a variation of the Geommancer, Lydia teams using the elixir strategy. So elixir is the relic. Without the elixir, the teams would not be as consistent. It just provided some extra healing, obviously protecting you against the skeletons that pop up. You see here that the boss has a 6-star Ward of the Fallen. They generate skeletons that deal quite a bit of damage. It scales off of the boss's attack. Now, the other issue with this team is that you need a very powerful seer. The seer needs to be able to kill the waves. If you do not, it really hurts the runtime. First of all, the runtime, and second of all, the success rate might not happen. There is a problem with the infinite loop against the Wither. So if the Wither doesn't die, the Wither will basically just heal and cleanse the boss, and the boss will cleanse Wither, so that would just be a dead run. It would never finish, basically. Otherwise, this is an extremely consistent run. I'll show you guys here what I mean. The two Vogoths are actually very powerful here. They actually provide plenty of healing for Geommancer, allowing Geommancer basically the time to finish off the boss in the second form. So you see here, Seer takes care of everybody. She is 5-star blessed. 5-star blessed, guys. Blessings are important for this dungeon because they do increase the mitigation that you have. So you take less damage from the boss, giving you more survivability, of course. And you see here the two Vogoths keeping everybody alive and happy. The skeletons not doing anything. The yo-yoing of the HP is really awesome to see. Vogoth's actually particularly good here because his A1 actually is very useful. His A1 can extend the debuffs on the boss, providing some consistency, increasing the runtime of the run because you can increase the HP burn. There's a little bit of RNG involved because they don't extend all of the debuffs, so it is a little bit random there. But you can kind of see here, they're basically just cycling through each other, healing up. Very nice. It's awesome to see, and it might not be as fast. It might not be as fast as some of the other teams out there because these Geomancer teams can go down to about 30 seconds, maybe 33 seconds. I think the fastest I've done was about 33 seconds. But because Vogoth, I believe, has a little bit of a slower A1 walking animation, it does cost a little bit of time. But these runs are very consistent, and it doesn't mean that these runs cannot be fast. It just means they're very more consistent. All right, let's run it one more time. I actually made a small gearing adjustment. I had the wrong boots on Lydia, but this one should showcase the correct order of things. There you go. Geomancer should be in the lead here. And yeah, like I said, the gearing requirements are more than flexible here. So show you guys the gearing afterwards. I only replaced one boot on Lydia. Like I said, she's supposed to go after Geommancer in this team order. There's very good reason for that. Again, for consistency's sake. Where's that HP burn? Come on, extend that HP burn. Nope. So yeah, a little bit of RNG here. Obviously, you got to extend the HP burn. Yeah, and having ways to get the HP burn back on Geo is actually a nice little luxury. If you can squeeze that into his build, that's great. Obviously, you can add that to his masteries and all that. All right, there was an extension. This should be enough. This should be enough. So it fell off once, and then he added it, and then it should be all good. About a minute and a half. Seems like about a minute and a half for this. But very consistent, very safe. And yeah, most easy on the gear requirements. So let's quickly go over it after this run here. It's going to be over pretty soon as soon as she attacks. And there we go. Just about a minute and a half. Everybody's still alive. All right, look at that. 5-star rare gear. Feels bad, man. All right, guys, so according to Hell Hades stage tool here, it shows 525 accuracy needed for the dungeon boss and 505 up to 515 accuracy for the waves. So yeah, you're looking for at least 500 accuracy if you want a decent shot of landing your debuffs. Just something to keep in mind for stage 30. Very, very important. I'm gonna go over here with the presets real quick. We got Geommancer opening with the HP burn, Vogoth turn off both A2s, Seer opening with Karma burn, and then Lydia opening with the A2. Quickly going over the gear here, and I'll show you guys what's up. We got 9-piece Feral Lydia. It's going to provide a little bit of extra damage here with the 9-piece. You don't really need her to have a 9-piece. You can just put whatever gear set on her if you don't have the 9-piece. You can put a shield set on her. She could be your shield set's champion, sorry. You can put a 4-piece Feral on her so that she has a block debuff so that you can remove for powering up your Seer. No relic. You can put some damage relics on her if you like. Brimstone here just for a little bit of additional damage. Which helps speed up the run. War Master, pretty standard stuff for Lydia. After that, we have Seer. Again, pretty powerful Seer. Only a 5-star here. Ideally, you want the 6-star for more ignore defense, which means you just need less buffs to take off, for example. In terms of the the relic, I did take the Cat's Gaze to basically, make her into a 6-star, basically. But yeah, you could add any relic that gives you crit damage would be worthwhile, but ideally you want 100% ignore damage or ignore defense if possible. Crushing Rend, of course, if you get the 6-star, even better. I went down for Flawless X just for some consistency in her damage. Here are her total stats. 266 speed here seems to work out pretty okay. I wouldn't go slower than this because you run the risk of the Mortu cutting in when he gets a turn meter drop. And if he cuts in, he might be able to kill some people, which is a little bit of a pain. So you want to go before he goes if he gets the turn meter. But yeah, 266 here for the Seer. And yeah, she's pretty strong. You need one of these big boy damage dealers to get through the waves. After that, we have the Geomancer. This build's going to be pretty strong as well. I would say you can probably cut off a little bit of HP. Having the trio HP tuned to each other helps the targeting for the boss. So the boss will target the lowest HP champion. So you ideally want Corrosa, the boss, to target one of your Vogoths instead of Geomancer. So you want Geomancer to be the highest HP of the bunch. Now, I do have Geomancer at 280 speed, which puts him as the fastest champion in this team. Now, that's important because Geomancer, as the fastest champion, will place the HP burn on the boss always. If he is not the lead champion, he will prioritize champions without weaken. So he wants to basically put HP burn and weaken. If there's a champion without weaken, he will prioritize that champion. So let's say, for example, you put Lydia in front of Geo. Lydia goes first. She places weaken on everybody except for one. One gets resisted. So now Geomancer will target that champion instead. So to prevent that level of RNG messing up your run or slowing down your run considerably, I just make him the fastest, 280. And yeah, I would keep his HP around 90k plus. And of course, you need 500 accuracy to have a good chance of landing your HP burns. All right, another important thing here is the golden elixir. Ideally, as high as you can. I would recommend at least a level 9. I would say level 9 you could probably get away with, but at least as high as you can. The gemstones here are pretty important. I like this pentagon one. Where you give you a little bit of turn meter so you can recover. It's important because he has sets that benefit off of speed. So the faster you go, the more recovery you have. So things like turn meter definitely help him gain more HP. Bosses deal 5% less damage to wear, so this will protect him from some of the big slams. Now, I'm not too sure what the skeletons do. I don't think the skeletons are from the boss. They're just they're just themselves, like separate entities, so maybe there's no damage reduction there. But yeah, these two seem to work pretty good. After that, we have fully booked, of course, and emergency heal. Emergency heal here will give you a 9% additional heal when a shield breaks. So you will have a shield accessory here. Shield accessory to give you a small shield when you attack. So you only really attack on your A1 and A2. You won't attack on your A3. But you still gain a little bit of a shield once in a while. I do have a refresh amulet here just in case for the HP burns. You could actually try this amulet too. This amulet, like the revenge set amulet, it gives you a 5% chance to counterattack. So when you counterattack, you'll create a shield for yourself, which is effectively a small heal. So that could improve your consistency as well. A 6-star for him is massive. It's basically 5% damage mitigation against the boss, and it gives you an extra 6% heal on the shield. So it's very, very massive. A 6-star blessing. Yeah, it's massive. For the masteries here, these seem mostly optimized. Spirit Haste is good because it gives you additional speed. Eagle Eye for additional accuracy. If you have plenty of accuracy, you go down for Elixir of Life for some extra HP. Extra stats, extra accuracy, extra HP burns, a little bit of healing. Turn meter is fine, and then the rest seem mostly fine. I feel like improved parry might be consideration over blast proof, maybe, but a 5% flat reduction over, because all the, the big hits are the AoEs, 5% flat versus 8% sometimes. I don't know. It could, you could argue that the non-crits don't hurt you anyways. And then gaining an extra 3% on, the big killing blow crits could be the difference maker. I don't know. It's too close to tell, so I can't say. But this works fine for me, these masteries. So yeah, all sorts of healing sets on him. Very, very good. And then now we have the kind of like the stars of the show a little bit here. We have Vogoth. So Vogoth, my Vogoth here is in a shield set plus a 4-piece feral set. Now the 4-piece feral set is here just for a starting block debuff, so that it can be stripped off by the seer, just an extra buff. Shield set, self-explanatory, gives you an extra buff or 5 buffs for your seer to take off. In terms of what we're looking at here, I'm looking at 95 HP under the Geommancer. I'm looking at 266. He goes before the seer goes. I want Vogoth to go because his A1 can extend the HP burn, so I want that to happen. And then you apply a little bit of accuracy on the Vogoth. Now, if you really want to stretch out the stats and try to make this happen with as little stats as possible, then you would probably cut the accuracy on Vogoth to maybe like 350 maybe, so that he has a lower chance of his A1 happening, but it still can happen. Yeah, I would probably say that. Obviously, Vogoth is there to protect Geommancer, which is the main most important champion. And the way he does that is just to have humongous HP. In terms of the Relic Golden Elixir here again. Now, Golden Elixir kind of isn't necessary on Vogoth because he just heals when he gets hit anyways. But I think it does help a little bit. So adding it here definitely does help. Same thing with the emergency heal. It doesn't help that much, but it does help a little bit. So I would strongly suggest you add it if you have it. And then for the masteries here, I did go down to Selfless Defender and Bulwark. Now, again, he's not getting too much value from these masteries. You can kind of see, like, yes, he gets a little bit of healing here. He gets a little bit of speed. But he can take off a little bit of damage. These equate to like a couple hundred damage. It's actually not really that much. So I could say, you could definitely run him with no masteries if you want. So case in point, my second Vogoth literally doesn't, is just in high HP. He does have accuracy. He's slow. You could argue that you don't even need speed on these Vogoth. They're just kind of standing there to get hit. And then, like I said, I put a counterattack accessory on him so that he A1s and then can have a chance to extend the HP burn. That speeds up the run. The immortal set's not important. They're just there for HP percentage, just to boost up the stats there. Like I said, he's not super fast. Speed's not that important. You could even drop him down even more speed for more stats. Elixir here, again, I could say you probably could live without it. How about we do this? How about we unequip the elixirs and then we do a run here just to make sure that we can actually do it. I think it's probably close. This Vogoth, like I say, he's a base Vogoth. He has no blessings. He has, no emergency heal, and he has no masteries, and he's not even fully booked. You don't get much book value from Vogoth here. So like I said, guys, this is a pretty budget option, and these are broken set pieces. Yes, he has 115k HP. Like, it's a lot, but it's stage 30, right? But in terms of like, you don't need like a humongous regeneration set or anything like that. But let's see how it goes. Yeah, we took the elixirs off of Vogoth. I'm not sure how it'll go, but we can test it out here. Let's see if they can survive. Yeah, you know, if they had the elixirs, they would heal up already. This one's kind of a little bit dicey here. I don't think it's going to make it. Yeah, it's not going to make it. The elixir definitely helps here. I mean, maybe this Geomancer can get through. It's possible. Nope. Yeah, so definitely elixir helps on the Vogoth. I would highly recommend putting them on if you have it. At least one of them. I would say at least one of them. Because you don't necessarily need both of them to live, but you need one of them to live. You need at least one of them to live to give your Geomancer some time so that he can finish off the fight. But anyways, guys, if you guys got some leftover Vogoths, definitely give it a try. I think it definitely has some potential. It works out really, really well. Like I said, the elixirs on the Vogoths definitely provide a lot of extra consistency, but you don't need regeneration sets on these Vogoths, and they'll be perfectly fine. And you don't even need accuracy on them, so the stats on them can be, you know, very loose. Masteries on the second Vogoth, not even here. You could, you know, probably not even run the full masteries on the first one. But I mean, you do get a little bit of value from healing, so that might be ultimately what keeps them alive. Anyways, guys, that's going to be this team. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it provides you guys with some alternatives to Vogoths and the Geomancer trio, the boss. Pretty sure we've seen this story written before for so many things like Balmo back in the day and all that. But dust off those Vogoths, bring them in, and they'll do some work for you guys. But of course, you guys need to find the elixirs to make this all work. So craft those relics. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Appreciate your time, and I'll see you guys in the next one.